This last week, we were in Washington, and we were up there for Tuesday. I flew back Wednesday, and in that short amount of time, the President of the United States created more dependency for our nation than I can imagine any other week. First of all, raising the debt limit, $1.2 trillion. We went up there this week to disallow that. So we took a vote not to raise the debt limit, but to stop the President from raising the debt limit. We passed it in the House. Of course, it'll go to the Senate. We know what happens in the Senate. They'll table it. They'll do whatever they do, all the little games and gimmicks. But $1.2 trillion, that's a 1 and a 2 with 11 zeros. It is phenomenally big. And you look back historically, you take the last 3 years. Let's just go back 3 years, the President's term here. $5 trillion of new debt has been borrowed as a result of this President. That's 1/3 of all our national debt. That's more than the first 41 presidents combined just in the last 3 years. Our President has created a dependent nation, dependent on foreign nations. Same day as requesting the debt limit increase, he denied the Keystone Pipeline. Now, we've heard a lot about the Keystone Pipeline. We think, well, what does that matter to Georgia? I'm going to tell you how it matters so much. It impacted 50 companies in the state of Georgia. It impacted every one of you because of fuel prices. But this was a concept that was from the private sector. These are business owners, no tax dollars, but the private sector is saying, hey, we have a friend to the north, a friend who has oil. Seeing how we can't access our oil, let's go to our friends to the north. We will spend all the money. We'll run the pipeline from Canada to the Gulf, get it to the refineries, and distribute it across America and lower fuel prices. And the President said no. He said, no, let's be dependent on foreign nations again. This has been a week of dependence created by the President. And so I'm excited to be here this morning because as I left our house this morning, I have 3 children. They were all in bed, all sleeping good, innocent and unaware of really what's happening around them. And knowing that I was coming to a meeting where we have patriots and Americans who are fired up. 3 years is enough. This is the year I've been waiting for to beat this President. And it is going to take a huge, huge push. He thinks Georgia's in play. And you say, well, how can Georgia be in play? We're a red state, right? Well, John McCain only had 52% of the state of Georgia. So Barack Obama is going to spend a lot of money in the state of Georgia. So it is up to us to fight back. And I believe the 14th Congressional District is the place where the fight needs to be engaged. When you think about all the opportunities, all the races, whether it's state house, state senate, the open seats, the retirees, the 2 Democrats that we want to beat in the state house, it's time to generate to get out the vote, and we can do it the 14th. So I'm excited to announce I'm going to challenge the other congressional districts to try to beat us. I say November, the 14th Congressional District put up more votes for the Republican nominee than any other congressional district in the state of Georgia. And when we do that, we're going to push all our team over the finish line in November. So we're taking our structure from our congressional district and our campaigns, and we're going to implement it and overlay it into this presidential race. But we need your help to do that. On your seat, you'll see these little sign-up cards. We need you to sign up to help us to do this because it is so important that we not lay back. We lost 2008 because Republicans were apathetic. They laid back. They were not excited. They were not energized. And we lost. We got our butts kicked in 2008. But then in 2010, we rebounded. We said enough's enough. 87 new Republicans were elected to the House of Representatives, took back the majority, came closer in the Senate, but we still have work to do. So I'm here today to encourage you and say this is the year. As we think about all the issues that you're going to hear about today, and the guys and gal who are here to speak to you today from the State House and the Senate, you may like them, you may hate them, you may want to re-elect them, you may want to run against them. Well, I want to tell you, they are doing their job. They are the greatest example for the United States Congress than any other body in the country. They're balancing the budget, they're not raising taxes, they're shrinking the size of government. It's an awesome example for me. When I go to Washington, we were laughing with Howard about the budget a minute ago. He brought the budget, just in case y'all wanted to know. I guess he's going to read it today. We were elected together 10 years ago. I guess it was 10 years ago we were sworn in, or elected together. And the budget then was probably like this, because it was a Roy Barnes budget. Right? That's when we came in, was right after Roy Barnes, Senator Perdue was elected. And now it's like this. So the Republicans have been doing their job in the State House and the Senate, and we need to encourage them. We've got to push our team across the finish line come November. And I'm going to sort of close with this because I think it's a great illustration of where we are. You might have heard the story, and forgive me if you have, but it's from years ago in Florida. there was a little boy, and I have a boy that's going to be 12 in a couple of months, and so it really relates to my son. But a little boy in Florida had a pond behind their house, and the boy, hot summer day, he took off his socks and his shirt, and he went running out the back door. And as he went out the back door, his dad was out in the garden working. And the boy was running across the yard and went down to the pond, and off the dock he dove into the pond. So the dad's looking up, just sort of musing at his son, enjoying the hot summer day. And as he looked out, his son was swimming across the pond, and his dad saw what his son couldn't see, and that was an alligator. So the alligator's swimming towards his son, and the son's just swimming and playing out in the pond, and his dad starts yelling for his son, and he's running down to the dock. And his son hears his dad and sees him, and he starts swimming back to the dock, and just as the dad gets to the dock to grab his son, the alligator grabs his son's legs. So this tussle begins, and it's a fight between the dad and the alligator, and the son's in the middle. But the dad keeps pulling and fighting, and a farmer next door hears the commotion. He comes, he brings his rifle, shoots the alligator, and they pull the son to shore safely. As you can imagine, he's wounded, he goes to the hospital, he's been there for weeks. And as we have to deal with the media, so did this son. As he was leaving the hospital, the newspaper, local newspaper in Florida, wanted to interview him. And they asked him about the whole incident. And as he was describing the incident, the reporter wanted to know about his scars. And he said, well, will you show me your scars? I want to see what happened. So the boy reached down to pull up his pants leg, and then he stopped, and he hesitated, and he sort of smiled. And he said, let me show you the scars I'm most proud of. And he pulled back the sleeves on his arm. And there on his arm were the scars from where his dad wouldn't let go. His dad had such a grip on this boy that it scarred his arm. But we're at a point in our nation where we need to leave some scars in the arms of this nation. Because there is an alligator of the liberal left that is pulling very hard. And it's going to devour this nation if we let go. So it is time for us to hold on, grip with your greatest might, because this is going to be the fight for the future of our country. So God bless you. Thank you for letting me be a part of this. Thank you for being a part of this party. It's an awesome place to be. Let's get it done this year. Thank you.